Diddy Trial, afternoon update. Okay, so Cassie finished her cross-examination today, and I want to go back and just discuss a couple things from this morning that I missed that I think are important, or just moments in general, maybe not important to the case, but so Estevao asked Cassie at one point this morning if she hated Diddy, and Cassie said she did not hate him. And then she asked, do you still love him? And Cassie said exactly this, word for word, I got it. She said, I have love for the past, what it was. And you know, it's interesting because Cassie didn't cry at all when she was being cross-examined, but when when Emily Johnson came back to do redirect, we definitely saw a lot of tears from Cassie, and it was really sad. Additionally, I wanted to go over something this morning that they were discussing during the evidentiary discussion, or the discovery discussion, before the jury came in. They were talking about this video that Diddy sent Cassie after the Intercontinental incident beatdown, and basically the defense is like, this is when he was in rehab. He sent you this video. And the way they positioned it, they said, you know, this is a video of Diddy walking through nature and talking about God, and everybody was like looking at each other like, what? And Cassie said it wasn't rehab, he was in Sedona, Arizona, and he sent her a video basically saying that he was trying to do better, he was getting right with God, and I guess they wanted this admitted for like some kind of apology, but the jury didn't hear it. Sorry if that was unclear. I'm starting to get brain dead from all of this, but let's go just to some big moments of the afternoon, which many of you may already know. But yeah, Cassie admitted to a $10 million settlement with the Intercontinental Hotel. She has not yet received this settlement. We also, I'm looking through my notebook, sorry, look at all these notes. We saw text messages from 2020 between Cassie and Diddy, where let me see, I wrote some messages. Oh yeah, or wrote some notes. He said, I will always love you. I hope you forgive me. I send this message with all respect to your husband. And he said, we're lucky to be alive, alluding to all of their, you know, drugs and partying. Say hi to mom and pops. You know, it was really showing that maybe he was sorry. I'm just, yeah, I mean, they are, you know, doing as much as they possibly can to show that he has remorse, in my opinion, or had remorse. Additionally, they brought up, this is the defense, I'm still on cross, they brought up that when Cassie settled with Diddy for the $20 million, she had a tour planned, and after she settled, she canceled the tour. So they were like, so you kind of had the money, you didn't need the money, so you canceled the tour. And then later on the redirect, Cassie said something that I thought made a lot of sense. She's like, I canceled the tour because it was just a lot after I filed that lawsuit. You know, I was getting a lot of attention, you know, good and bad, negative and positive. So she was overwhelmed. But anyway, back to the cross, the defense was like, so, you know, your husband's a personal trainer, right? And at the time that you filed this lawsuit, you guys were living in Connecticut with your children, your two children, at your parents' house, and they made sure to say it was a very modest house, and then they kind of left it at that, so they didn't really badger it. But let me see what else. Yeah, we just saw a lot of text messages between Cassie and Diddy where they just tried to contradict her, saying that she you know, didn't want to be there, she didn't want to do freak offs. And then the last thing from the defense, or the last message that was read from the defense before they were finished, I can stand up now, sorry, was September of 2012. Diddy texted Cassie, want to FO one last time. And Cassie said, what? And he said, you can't read. And she said, I don't want it to be the last time. I want it to be the first time for the rest of our lives. And then the defense was like, no further questions. So yeah, there's that. So then we went into the redirect, which was a lot of what we had heard already, them reiterating that, you know, she loved him, she felt trapped, more of the abuse that she suffered. Just, again, reiterating what we heard in her direct testimony the first 2 days. At one point, she said, they were talking about how she didn't want to do freak offs because of, you know, she had to recover for so long. And it was, you know, it was like work and then freak offs and recovery. So they, the government said, well, what was your other job, you know, when you weren't doing music, or what did you feel like your other job was? I can't remember the exact question, but she said sex worker. And yeah, they had to strike that. And the judge was like, jury disregard. But I think that they were, we saw a lot of text messages during the redirect about the control that he had over Cassie. And it was text between her and music producers, where Cassie said that he really controlled her career, and her career, once she started dating him, you know, it went downhill. You know, she had her one big album, and after that, he wouldn't really let her do anything. So we saw a text message where she was asked to be in a Common video. Sorry, I just went too close. A Common video, and this manager is saying, you know, let me know if you want to do this. And she's like, I just have to ask Puff. Then they're texting, and then she said Puff said no. So, this, again, in my opinion, they're trying to insert his coercive control, which they did again and again. Then the defense came in and asked a few more questions. I mean, I think, so then they talked about her civil suit and the $10 million Intercontinental lawsuit, where she said that she would, during the redirect, I'd give it back. She said she'd give back the $20 million if she never had to do freak offs. Then she wouldn't have to work so hard to get her autonomy back. And she started crying. It was sad. I felt horrible for her. And also, like, sitting there the last 3 days answering all these questions. My gosh, she's just like so calm. I don't know how she did it. So then we moved on. So I'm going to try to flip this notebook. We moved on to the next witness, Yasin Binda, the special agent with the HSI. She works in the human trafficking department, international and domestic, and she also did crisis negotiation. So she served a bunch of subpoenas in the case. We saw a photo of a guy named Paul Arthur. She served him in March of 2024. I have not looked this guy up. He did not look familiar, but I need to look up him after this. His name is Paul Arthur. But anyway, she worked on the arrest of Diddy in September of 2024. She arrested him at the Park Hyatt hotel. She was in charge of taking pictures. So we saw pictures of the Park Hyatt, and she testified that she thought that there was a woman that was staying with him. I mean, who knows, maybe. And then actually, and it was a lot of, it was a lot of, I don't want to say it was boring, but it's boring stuff, but I know it's important. I understand it's important. So then Dawn Richards got on the stand, and I left a little bit early, but Dawn Richards testified, you know, that she worked with Diddy from, I think it was 2004 to 2011, and she testified that she saw in 2009 Diddy beat Cassie up. Like, I guess he was kind of like, where's my food type of thing, and then he proceeded to like stomp her. So she will be definitely back on the stand on Monday. And yeah, I think I'm planning to be there on Monday. The schedule's a little bit different, and I'm planning to be there, you know, throughout the trial, but I will have to miss some days, obviously, but I'll do the best that I can. But I'll definitely be there Monday, most likely Tuesday. And actually, you know what? I think it goes till 3 o'clock, so that's so much better. But anyway, I hope this was helpful. If I missed anything else, I apologize. I'll tweet it out. Okay, thanks for watching and listening.